Everybody, it's me, Frank Fry, the Gaming Geezer. And today is October 2nd. I'm realizing I am that just 28 days from now, I'll be 66 years old. Wow, I made it this far. Amazing. Okay, so now you know why I am a gaming geezer. But today's little bit is about my latest acquisition. As you all know, I got the DnD 5th edition Player's Handbook. Well, a couple of days ago on the 30th, this arrived. The Monster Manual. Now, I had seen this and had a chance to take a look at it. The convention I was at last week and flipped through it. But I waited on doing a video about this, so I had a little more time to look through it. Very good. I like it. It's full of all kinds of interesting creatures. Downright terrifying ones. You know, it's good. It's laid out well. The artwork is terrific. A lot of these creatures just look downright horrifying. Do you really want to wind up face to face with some of these things? I don't think I do. But anyway, this again is, and I think, an excellent product. I have different monster manuals, of course. I did one on Malleus Monstrorum, which was the one for Call of Cthulhu. And this one's just as good, except it takes off in a different way, of course. This is the D&D Fantasy Monster Manual. And the only thing I really have to say about the whole D&D 5th edition release is, damn, Dungeon Master's Guide won't be out until the first week of December. That's 2 more months, folks. Apparently, though, from what I've heard, and if I'm wrong, I'm sure there are people that will correct me, and that's fine. Apparently, when the DMG came back from the printers and like it, the folks running the show up at Wizard said, "This doth suck." Sent it back. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. Because I can work with this no matter what. I don't need the Dungeon Master's Guide, although they do have the ratings in here. I guess you call them challenge ratings. And apparently without the DMG, you can't use them. The hell with that. So anyway, that is the latest. My latest acquisition. Now, I'm going to show you something else that I think is just terrific. And if you can find any one of these, and I cannot recommend it highly, and that is the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Campaign Source Books. Historical. This one is for the Vikings. Now, this is 2nd edition, and obviously you're going to have to do some converting, obviously, and all of that. But the wealth of information in this is just truly amazing. And all the appropriate armor and gear. And I think one of the most important parts, though, and it's right here in Chapter 3 of Characters in Combat, is they give you a list of races. And you want to do a historical fantasy. This is a very, very good guidebook. Does all, and it says it offers a limited selection of races. Because, you know, they have human, and they have something called the Trollborn, which apparently is what they call big ugly dudes and dudettes in Vikings. They were Trollborn. I have, after reading that, I realized you're looking at half orcs. That's all you need to do, just change the name. And it's half orc. That's really the only ones. Now they talk about classes. Now this is from second edition. However, the classes that are allowed are fighter, ranger, thief, bard, specialist, mage. And by the way, they have a new class they introduce here, but is quite familiar in the player's handbook of 5th edition, and that is the berserker. And they tell you the warriors are supposed to be proficient with axe, spear, etc., etc. Chainmail, and that depends on your social status and your personal wealth. If you watch the Vikings, the series, you'll note a lot of them went into battle without huge amounts of mail on their bodies. A lot of them simply wore tunics. They had you had a helmet if you were lucky, fortunate. Shield, sword, spear, axe, dagger, bow. So yeah, backgrounds. Probably, you could improvise, work those out of the player's handbook, 5th edition, and so they say of the three types of warriors. There are no paladins. And you probably have one coming in from the some foreign lands. Christians did show up there, and depending on who you talk to, ruined the Viking culture. But we're not going to go there. Anyway, this is really a very good way to start if you can find these. These, I think, can be hard to find. I got these all at a used bookstore for $5 a piece. Wow. There are 4 of them. The first one are the Vikings. The second one are there are 4 of these that I have. The second one are the Celts. The third one are Charlemagne's Paladins, which takes a long look at the Carolinians. And really is an excellent choice. The fourth one is called A Mighty Fortress, which actually takes place much later in history. We're looking at the Protestant Reformation / wars of rebellion, wars of religion, etc., etc. You're also looking at gunpowder. And I'm not sure about that one, but the other 3, when you really think about it, we got Vikings, we've got Charlemagne's Paladins, we've got old school Celts. Boy, that campaign just about writes itself now, doesn't it? I guess we'll see. But anyway, this is really, you combine some of these, or actually any good source reference book on the Vikings, and bang, you got this. So anyway, I've rambled on enough. But again, I recommend Monster Manual for 5th edition. Very well done. Easy to use. That's the thing. They've made this game a lot more accessible. I've said that before in my prayer video. I'll say it again. This is a much more accessible game, especially to an old scoundrel like me. Anyway, you all have a good time. And remember, have fun. Play games.